Yep. Not surprising at all though. But yep, Dragon Age the Veilguard just announced that it was a financial failure. I think anybody could have seen this coming. Dragon Age the Veilguard had 1.5 million players in the first 2 months. EA expected 3 million. And this is what I say with certain games. A lot of people like to ignore the fact they think because a game is huge, they're too big to fail. And we see that with a lot of IPs. Gears of War, Last of Us. I'm naming games that divided the fan base, and many more. What's another one? Veilguard. But the thing is, when it comes to this news, that I feel like people knew and media lied to you. Obviously, when it comes to Dragon Age, the media straight up lied to you. You can see it with all the sponsored videos, with all the news articles. They were calling it 10 out of 10. They were saying it was doing well. And they were basically telling you what you see with your eyes and what you're hearing is a lie. This is a financial failure. This is a failure. It's not breaking even. This is we're going to lay off people. We're going to see what we can do better. And we're not probably getting another Dragon Age for a long time because the next game coming out from BioWare is Mass Effect, which is another game, is another IP, which is like maybe top 20. It is top 20 of all time, most known. And that's not arguable. Mass Effect is one of the pillars of RPGs. And it's weird because the thing about Dragon Ages and Suicide Squad, Concord, I've always said you can like a game that is received as a bad game. It's not you liking a game that's bad. It's you liking a game that's bad and telling people that they're wrong for saying it's bad. For people who like Dragon Age, there were only two sides. You like Dragon Age or you hate Dragon Age. And the people that like Dragon Age the people who like Dragon Age and were criticizing people who didn't like it were basically telling you, well, you have bad taste, you're stupid, you're wrong, and it's always a bad decision. I never understood what you gain from defending a game or company that is not doing the right decision. You see this all the time. People will defend Suicide Squad, and I've always wondered, like, why would you defend a game? There's a difference between saying, yeah, I like the game, and realizing that, damn, there's a shit ton of players not playing my game. Dang, I like the game, but why is it getting all this hate? You can't, and that's the problem with Dragon Age. It was surrounded by either too much positivity and too much negativity, and the problem is the game did bad. So in this case, they ignored the negativity. There was nothing positive that people were ignoring about the game. It doesn't need to be positive because the game did bad. In this situation, you don't say, well, Dragon Age did this good or Dragon Age did this good. No, in this situation, you only talk about what it did bad because it failed. It's not like it broke even. They expected 3 million players in the first 2 months and got 1.5 across all platforms. And that is terrible. That's terrible. I don't know. And to be honest, why I think Dragon Age failed is they didn't make a game for Dragon Age fans. They didn't make a game for RPG fans. They made a game to argue with people. This game was made to argue. It was made. They went to one of the biggest IPs in RPGs, and they took control of it. And they said, "Hey, I'm going to do what they don't like." And then they said, "Well, I'm not going to buy it." And then what's also interesting about this is the same people who were disregarding criticism of this game, they're going to come out. They're going to say we feel sorry for people getting laid off. It sucks that people got to get laid off. This game was surrounded by so much hate that no, I mean, yeah, the game had hate, but at some point, something gets so much hate, you got to wonder why. Why is something getting so much hate to the point it's unbelievable? Like Dragon Age was probably the most hated game I've seen in a while. Like Concord wasn't even hated. Concord was just like, okay, don't care, die. Veilguard was hated because a lot of people who liked the game didn't get the game that they deserved. And I think, yes, it is now true to say, since the game expected 1.5 million players, it got 3 million. They expected 3 million and got 1.5 million players. I think it is safe to say that Dragon Age Veilguard was not the game that Dragon Age fans deserved, because it would have succeeded. I think people would have. I mean, people would have showed up. They showed up. They show up for every other game. They show up for From Software. They show up for the Maddens. They show up for Call of Duty. They show up for Wukong, Stellar Blade. They'll show up for a game. Space Marine. They'll show up. This game was not the game that Dragon Age fans deserved. And even me, I'm not a Dragon Age fan, but this game was not something I would buy. It wasn't saying, hey, if you've never played a Dragon Age game, this game is still cool. This game was like the furthest thing away I was expecting from a Dragon Age game when you go and look at old footages. It feels like Fallout 3 to Starfield. But Starfield even did better than Dragon Age by far. Because Starfield was not a game that was telling old Bethesda fans to go F off. Starfield was just a bad Bethesda game with a lot of bugs, a lot of bad decision making. This game was definitely telling people to F off, and that's what they did. And you will see the media say that it was surrounded by hate. The game failed because of hate. But no amount of hate can go. And the truth is, no amount of hate can make you expect 3 million players and get 1.5. At that point, it's just a bad game. It's not like they expected 3 million and got 2.5. They didn't even get half. They got half of what they expected to get. But it's not surprising. All I would say is, when certain games come out, use your eyes and ears. People will tell you Suicide Squad. People will lie to you straight to your face. Say Concord is going to get a nice 8 years of a good life. There were developers and players who were saying Concord was going to be the next Star Wars, even after the release. And yeah, this is just. I mean, I don't really feel anything. It's just interesting because like everyone knew this. Everyone knew this, but it's just crazy. Like, why does the media lie? And it's just to show you, because it was a game that was made for the media, which is like 1% of gamers. But yeah, that's just the end of it. Peace. That's the end of the video, and goodbye.